Good evening, Alex. Here is your sewer scope from today's inspection. Here's that floor clean out right by the water meter. Cast iron to start, normal. That was typical for a house that was built in the mid to late 60s or earlier. I'm going to need a second here to kind of shove the camera in the right direction. There we go. Typical in this section, typical deterioration, corrosion. Cast iron will start to corrode on the interior. That's a Q-tip. Gross. Sorry about that, but you run across things like that from time to time. A quick transition into PVC. I can't say for certain, but PVC in the mid to late 60s was not typical in our area. I mean, this could be an original section, but like we talked about today, we transitioned back to cast iron, which again furthers my idea that this section, almost 100 feet, was a replacement. If it was PVC, it would maybe switch over for a short period to clay before it reached the city pipe. Which is likely going to be clay. But again, speculation on my part. I guess it doesn't really matter one way or the other. Having this 100 feet of PVC is definitely a bonus. Obviously, the camera lens has fogged up. I've turned some water on, and I'm just going to try to wash off the lens so we get a better picture. Just by, again, very unscientific way of just kind of running it back and forth through the relatively clean water there, so we get this much better picture. We'll roll along through the PVC. All the connections look good. The pipe itself looks good. No damage, no dents, no dings. Everything's flowing nicely as well. It's another benefit of running some water. We can just check functional flow. We can make sure that there's not any sags or low spots in the pipe, which there's not. Everything, as you can see, is rolling along fairly nicely. The other thing about the water is it gives you orientation on what's the bottom of the pipe. Not that it ultimately matters. I don't have a self-leveling head on this machine, so the water will be your kind of guidepost of where the bottom of the pipe is. Obviously, the front yard has a fairly decent grade to it, so we've got a nice slant down for the pipe. I mean, that's a benefit, if you ask me, that everything tends to kind of roll along fairly freely. PVC obviously is a relatively smooth-walled material pipe. You're going to tend not to catch things in the pipe. Generally, material is not going to stick to it like it would with cast iron or even clay. It'll tend to grab onto a little bit more readily. Here's our transition to cast iron. If you notice right there, that looks like concrete to me at the top of the pipe. Along the bottom of the pipe, that looks like concrete. And taking a look at this looks like concrete. So that was the connection point between the newer PVC and the cast iron pipe. So, is it possible that in the construction of whatever was going on, concrete got basically siphoned into the pipe or drained into the pipe or whatever, and this is the end result? I mean, that's one scenario. I think it's a fairly good one. Ultimately, I think if you come in and you try to cable this out, there shouldn't be much of a problem with busting this up and getting rid of it. Also, descaling this pipe, because you can see how relatively thick the scales are on the pipe. I mean, just cleaning that up a little bit So ultimately what we want to do is we want to clean the pipe up, we want to see if we can't clear out this blockage, and then whatever length is left in the pipe before it connects to the city, we want to double check that just to make sure that there's one, not any more buildup like this, and two, no damage between this point and the end of the pipe, and that everything's flowing freely, which it looks like it is, but we want to just double check that. Please read through my written report for just basic description, recommendations, some still pictures. Let me know if you have any questions when you read through this, or if you need help with next steps. I'm going to keep the camera rolling as I pull back. Feel free to watch the return journey if you'd like. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions or if I can be of help.